It's that time again where we show you 5 of our absolute favourite top picks, this time with motorcycle boots for urban usage, which is quite a mouthful. But they all do things ever so slightly differently, as you can see. To be honest with you, I could very easily have filled this table with twice this number. Maybe not filled the table, that would have been quite a lot of shoes in one place, but I've got lots of favourites. It's a very difficult thing to pin down on this one actually. But before I start, I should explain all of these boots are CE approved. They are all obviously safe and they all come higher than your ankle to a greater and lesser degree, but that's important as well because you obviously want to protect your ankles at the same time. With that aside though, they all do things ever so slightly differently, so let's get started. Starting at the casual end of the spectrum though, with something that resembles a classic skate shoe. To me, it looks somewhat reminiscent of a pair of Vans. We have the TCX Street 3 WP, WP standing for waterproof. This is a waterproof boot. It comes in a variety of different colors. They all change the look to a certain extent. They all obviously share the same basic form, but the look does change quite dramatically depending on the colorway that you choose. They are though, as I say, more of a casual look. Now that's going to polarize. Some people won't want that. They might want a smarter looking shoe. But for some people who just want something that looks like a regular trainer, these really fit the brief. So they're very comfortable as well. There isn't really anything from the outside that alludes to the fact that they are motorcycle boots. And they don't really feel that heavy, clunky or cumbersome. They are very comfortable on. They have got some armor across them. In fact, they don't really lack for any armor. It's just not obvious where it is sometimes. So they have toe and heel reinforcement. To me, actually, I would say the toe feels relatively soft. I don't know whether they mean that's more in the sole rather than the actual toe itself, but they have some reinforcement there all the same. And they've got D3O in your ankles, and that is so soft to the degree that actually I didn't even think it had armor in it until I checked the specifications on this one, but that's discreetly deposited in your ankles, and you can see the D3O logo on there just to prove it, but it is there. This is very soft, very comfortable. It stiffens under impact, but the rest of the time when you're walking around, very comfortable. They do like to label things TCX as well, so you've got your Ground Tracks sole on this one. It's very grippy. It is obviously anti-slip. And you've got the Z plate shank as well in there so that it stops the sole from bending the wrong way if you were to catch your toe while you're out riding. And you have their T-Dry waterproof liner as well. So as I say, a fully waterproof boot. Now, if it is torrential, I'm sure this wouldn't be my pick. It's a little bit shorter, so depending on what trousers you're wearing, there's a chance it could come over the top even. It only goes up so far on the tongue, obviously. But it is still nice that it's waterproof. If you get caught out, you know your shoes are still waterproof. And then quite obviously, in contrast to some of the boots you'll see here, they are lace up and lace up alone. They haven't got a side entry or a zip anywhere. They're just a simple lace up pair of boots, which makes them nice and secure, but obviously it might take a little bit longer getting in or out. I love the look of these. They are very comfortable on, and they're actually the cheapest that you will see here today. So these are £145, which is an absolute bargain. Sticking with the casual theme, we have the Doe Neo. Now these are slightly different, but they look relatively similar to the Street 3. So they are still a kind of casual, definitely a casual, kind of a skate shoe, but they're very comfortable again on. I would say out of the two of them, maybe slightly less comfortable than the TCX Street 3, but a little bit more breathable. These aren't waterproof boots, and they're actually the only one of this bunch that aren't waterproof that I'm going to show you, but you don't always want that from your shoes. Sometimes, if it's not a very breathable membrane, it can make your feet quite sweaty and a little bit less comfortable, obviously, as a result. So it is nice that these are massively breathable. It's still got some nice fabrics going on there, so you've got this suede and canvas mix going between. You've got their TCX fiber on the inside. You can see that poking through. That will give you your abrasion resistance. These also come in a variety of colors. I say variety, it comes in either black or white. But you've also got white brown and black brown. Black brown is the one I've got on the table here. It's my favorite, if I'm honest with you. A solid black's quite nice, but it's nice to have that breakup with the brown sole on these. It just adds a bit more detail. And I would say actually of all of these boots, these are the ones that the stock photos at least don't do them justice. They look a lot nicer in the flesh than they do in photos. Now of course you've still got some armor. It's not going to be quite as robust as bigger, chunkier boots. They are urban trainers at the end of the day, but they've still got toe reinforcement, heel reinforcement. The malleolus protector, although to be honest with you, I can only feel it on the outside of your ankle rather than the inside, because on the inside you have a zip entry. So these are lace up, and you can use either if you prefer, but if you fully lace them up, you can unzip that and get access to these really easily. It's very easy to get your foot in or out of these. Still a very affordable price. These come in at £154.90. Let's move up a step in terms of robustness. We have the Merlin Ether in the center, so we're starting to get into the bigger boot kind of territory. Not the tallest of the bunch, but definitely taller than the ones I've shown you so far, and obviously a thicker kind of shoe. These come in either black or brown. On the black, I would say it's really nice. They've got this little layer on the sole which breaks up the black of the sole and the black of the boot, which just adds some character to it. Otherwise, they could run the risk of looking a little bit too plain. Now, in terms of features, they are waterproof like the Street 3, and they have a side entry zip like the Doe Neo. And I should also say that's a Hypora waterproof membrane. I have it in my own boots and I can confirm it is very trustworthy. But because it has that membrane and the zip, it needs a gusset behind the zip, so it doesn't open quite as wide as you'll find with the Doe. Because it can only open so far, I'm going to say you can't use just the zip. You do need to at least loosen off the laces a little bit. So it will save you a bit of time, but not quite the same as the Doe. You also have a chunkier sole on these. Obviously, they are boots. You have that raised heel as well, as opposed to the flat sole that you'll find with the trainers or sneaker versions. And you have more robust toe armor and heel armor. It does feel thicker in the hands. And then you've also got D3O again in your ankles. But if you do look at them, even from the front here, you can tell it does pad out those ankles somewhat. So they're a little bit chunkier around the tops of your feet. The other thing different from the trainers that you'll see is these have an extra layer across your toe as well, on both sides for symmetry, but obviously on the left for the gear shifter. Brilliant boot, brilliant price. These are actually £149.99, so massively affordable, but then you'd expect that from Merlin. Moving up a little bit more in terms of height of boot, we have the TCX X Blend. These again are a pretty thick, pretty chunky boot. And actually of these boots on the table, I'd say they're probably the heaviest, but conversely, for me at least, and it is a personal thing, they are also the most comfortable. I'm going to say that's down to the lovely padded sole that you've got in this. It's really thick on the insole, it's very soft and cushioned, and it's really comfortable. But you can tell the boots have a bit more stiffness and rigidity to them. They are obviously a thicker pair of shoes than what I've shown you so far. Unsurprisingly, again, these are waterproof. That membrane is obviously going to go higher because it can. They are taller boots. It stops just shy of about an inch from the top of the boot that you can see there. You've got lots of armor on show actually with this one as well. So you've got your toe and heel armor. You've got your malleolus or ankle protection as well, very visible from the outside, but they are quite a narrow boot on the top, so you can easily get these under a pair of trousers if you don't want to show that off. Again, you've got this big, chunky, thick sole on it, and it probably feels the thickest and chunkiest of all of them, but lovely and grippy, and still quite comfortable even to move around. It is only lace-up, obviously, you don't have the side entry on these, and again, you've got that extra bit of leather on your toe, again for symmetry on both sides, but predominantly on the left for your gear shifter. The TCX X Blend coming at £169.99. Similar in height, but very different in their style, we have the Belstaff Duration. Now these are obviously more expensive than what I've shown you so far. These are £275, so obviously there's a bit of a jump in price there, but the quality of these is fantastic. It's got a really nice leather that you can see from the outside there. That is also weather treated, so it is water repellent, and the boots, of course, are waterproof. Obviously, these are also fully laceless, so they're very easy to get on and off. And as a result, I would say they are slightly more subtle looking than the TCX. Again, they're designed to go under a trouser leg. They are quite narrow at the top there, at least, so it fits very easily, even under relatively skinny jeans without showing it at all. Likewise, this has malleolus protection in it. More discreet, again, I would say, than the TCX. You can't really tell that it's in there, but it's on both sides of your ankle. You've again got toe and heel reinforcement. and you've got a lovely chunky sole. And on this one actually, it's a Vibram sole. You will have heard me mention that countless times. They make lots of great hiking gear, lots of great footwear. They make really robust soles for shoes. Very grippy. Obviously these are anti-slip and they will last a long time. The leather itself is 1.8 to 2 millimeters thick. I would actually say it looks relatively chunky from the outside, but deceptively it is quite light feeling and very easy to move around in. You've got the Belstaff logo embossed on your shin, and then you've got an extra layer again across your toe, probably the thickest you've seen so far. Symmetry obviously on the left and right. The Belstaff Duration comes in at £275. I will drop links in the description for those and the rest of the boots you can see here. If you feel like we've missed any, drop them in the comments section down below. We love to hear back from you. In fact, let us know if there's anything else you want us to do a top 5 on, anything else you want us to cover and give you our opinions on. We love to hear your feedback. If you want to buy any of these, do check the size guides, of course, before you order online. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.